Hey guys, Super Godzilla Final Wars here, and today I am back once again with another video. Today I want to discuss a little something that has been kind of going off on the Godzilla fandom lately. And that is the monsterverse focusing way too much on Kong. This is now a new topic that everyone is complaining about. Now, don't get me wrong, I do love Kong, but I'm not that big of a Kong fan. As you already know, I am 100% Godzilla fan, 90% Gamera fan, and 80% Kong fan. And I honestly think that the monsterverse is focusing way too much on Kong. That basically, they're forgetting about Godzilla at this point. Let me explain. When we got the Godzilla 2014 movie, honestly, it did not do that well at the box office for what I heard. And somehow Kong Skull Island surpasses Godzilla with 2014. And I was just like, how? Godzilla started the monsterverse. How is a giant monkey getting more attention than a giant radioactive atomic breath breathing lizard? Like, that is just so confusing to me. How is that happening? Godzilla King of the Monsters, it did slightly better than Godzilla 2014, but it did not do that well according to some fans and to some critics. But the only way that the monsterverse bounced up to popularity was when Godzilla vs. Kong came out. Only when vs. Kong did the franchise started to get more successful. The monsterverse at this point has won over $2 billion, for what I've heard from Skylar Kingery and watching his videos. The monsterverse has won over $2 billion. And this was thanks to both Godzilla vs. Kong and Godzilla X Kong. We got a very emotional side of Kong's story. And yet, we never got that with Godzilla. We never got that with Godzilla. Now, this is something that has been annoying me a lot lately, and that is how the way Godzilla is being treated in the monsterverse. That, and another thing that has been bothering me, is the fact that Godzilla is getting less attention and Kong is getting more attention. That's just annoying me, honestly. Like, are you telling me that we cannot have an emotional story with Godzilla? May I remind you that we had emotional stories with Godzilla before. Godzilla vs. Destroyer. Yeah, Godzilla 1954. Giant Monsters All Out Attack. We had emotional stories with the character. And yet they're focusing way too much on Kong. I know the new Empire sequel promises to be a Godzilla movie, giving the fans what they want. They don't want a Kong movie, they want a Godzilla movie. Which, honestly, in my honest opinion, I know this may sound like, how do I say it? Basically, what I'm trying to say is, I think Godzilla should have been out of Godzilla X Kong: The New Empire. Now, if you're wondering why do I say this, well, it's because the fact that it just focused way too much on Kong, and Godzilla's only there just for a couple of seconds. That's it. Hell, he had more screen time in Godzilla vs. Kong, but he was mostly there to move the plot along. We never quite got a real story with Godzilla in there as well. And that's something that has been annoying me a lot lately. That is, Godzilla vs. Kong and Godzilla X Kong: The New Empire, they just focused way too damn much on Kong that they forgot that Godzilla is basically there. At this point, you might as well take Godzilla out of the movie and just let Kong be in the movie. Now I know what you guys are going to say. Well, Shima was in the movie, so Kong couldn't beat her on his own. Well, here's the thing. There's one way to solve that problem. Take Shimo out of the picture and then boom, you got a Kong movie. And all you guys gotta call it is Kong: The New Empire. Just leave Godzilla, leave Shimo, leave Godzilla out of the movie, have Shimo be mentioned in another, put Shimo in another movie, and possibly we put Mothra in another movie. Because at this point, Godzilla X Kong: The New Empire has shown another thing, and that is a lot of Kong fans are saying that Kong can now easily beat Godzilla with the Beast Glove. Even though Adam Wingard flat out said that Kong was not looking for a fight. I mean, he was wanting Godzilla to help him out. And Godzilla started the fight, which I still think that fight scene between Godzilla and Kong was pointless. Like, seriously. That whole fight could have been extended for Godzilla vs. Stela and Godzilla vs. T-Man. But no, we had to put a Godzilla and Kong fight in the damn movie. Because why the hell not? But yeah, a lot of Kong fans are now saying that Kong is now the most powerful being in the monsterverse. They're saying that he can easily beat Godzilla and all that stuff, blah 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 blah. Which honestly is just actually making me sick. Because, like, we saw that Godzilla was able to beat Kong both in versus Kong and in the New Empire. The only reason why Kong survived was because Mothra showed up and saved Kong from Godzilla. And let's just get this out of the way. Even if Kong had both the Beast Glove and the Battle Axe, I highly doubt that Kong would do that much damage to Godzilla. Maybe he could do a little bit of damage, but I highly doubt he'll do a whole lot of damage. Plus, Adam Wingard mentioned that Kong has matured over the rivalry. Basically, Kong has gotten over the rivalry. Now Now Kong thinks that the rivalry is just pointless. Kong understands that Godzilla is the alpha, and as long as he stays in the Hollow Earth, Godzilla should not have a problem with him. However, if Kong takes one step out of the Hollow Earth, then Godzilla will be after him. But anyways, back onto this whole situation. I think the MonsterVerse needs to step up their game a bit more. They need to make not just one new Godzilla movie, they need to make two Godzilla movies. And they both need to be highly successful just to get the Godzilla fans happy again. And I swear to God, if Monarch Legacy of Monsters focuses more on Kong, I will actually be pissed. Like, if they give Kong more screen time, then I will flat out question the director's decision to have Godzilla only have 4 fucking minutes of screen time. At least Godzilla had more screen time in the New Empire, because at least the screen time he had was over 9 minutes. Which compels to the comparison to Godzilla vs. Kong, because in Godzilla vs. Kong, he had over 11 minutes of screen time. Yeah, the MonsterVerse, I think they need to stop focusing on Kong and get back to focusing on Godzilla. We need more Godzilla movies. It's in order for the MonsterVerse Godzilla fans to be happy. So at this point, I don't like how the way my boy is treated currently. At this point, I think he's now being treated as a joke. So, you hear that, Legendary? You need to make more than just one new Godzilla movie. You need to make 3. I don't care if they are, or just at least any Godzilla project that, series, video games, I don't care what it is. Just make a Godzilla project, and boom, the fans can be happy again. Because at this point, if you give Kong another video game, you might as well rename the series the Kongverse. So at this point, I think Kong is just getting way too much attention. Like, we get it. He's a giant ape. And we're supposed to sympathize with him because he shares emotions that we have, or have similar emotions like that, or whatever. But that doesn't mean Godzilla doesn't have emotions. He too does have emotions. It's just that it takes films like Godzilla vs. Destroya, or Godzilla vs. Mechagodzilla 2, or Godzilla vs. Space Godzilla in order to feel those emotions. Or at least something like Godzilla minus freaking 1. Because I was terrified of Godzilla in Godzilla minus 1. He was actually threatening. Just, come on. Legendary, give Godzilla more attention. Stop giving the monkey attention, okay? We get it. Jesus.